Hello, Giants fans. Welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The first thing you should notice is that there's something different about the background today, and I want to give credit where credit's due. I did not come up with this idea myself, but Ben Kaspick on his Locked On Giants podcast a couple days ago, he went on. He didn't turn on one of his lamps because things were looking so dark for the Giants, and he wanted to keep it dark right there in his studio too. I picked up on that, but I thought I could do it even better and just have it almost pitch black. So, because the outlook is so dark for the Giants, welcome to Giants Baseball 101 in the dark. The Giants lost to the Dodgers 7-0 today. They got just blown out, and pitching just can't be this bad when Clayton Kershaw is on the mound. Kershaw is still with the Dodgers. He was definitely a possibility for the Giants to get in free agency last offseason. I mean, come on, he can't just be in a Dodger uniform his entire career. They didn't get him. He just re-signed with the Dodgers and had a really good year. He's not done pitching well yet. You cannot be this bad when you're facing Clayton Kershaw. But that's exactly what the Giants were, and their bullpen day just did not match up. They didn't score any runs with the bats, and John Brebbia, Taylor Rogers, and Ross Stripling, it just did not happen for them today. They all just pitched poorly. Jacob Junis was the only guy who came in and looked decent. And by the way, the Cubs won. The Cubs beat the Rockies, which is no surprise. I just wish the Giants could have beaten the Rockies too, but since they can't seem to do anything in road games, it just maybe that shouldn't surprise us either, that they couldn't do it. Now, to say that the Giants needed to pick up another starter at the trade deadline, we could keep asking the question, why did they need to do that? Well, this is why. Don't look any further than today. Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. This, among plenty of other games, this is why the Giants needed to pick up another starter at the trade deadline. And yet, you just go further back into the offseason. I keep talking about this, but tonight I don't want to just talk about it, but I want to look at some serious numbers. And I'm going to have to look at my notes here, so that's what I'm doing, looking away here. The free agent signings, we're going to go over them. And I'm not talking about the minor league signings here. They don't matter. I'm talking about the guys that were actually supposed to kind of come in and make some kind of an impact. There's one statistic I want to look at for all of them, and that's WAR, wins above replacement, specifically the way Fangraphs defines it. And I should just make the point here that for pitchers, Fangraphs uses fielding independent pitching as the statistic it factors in for WAR, and I mean that by itself is just not something that I'm happy about at all, and I can't understand why fielding independent pitching is becoming the new ERA. And it's just it basically attempts to remove any importance as far as the pitcher is concerned of a ball that goes in play off the bat. And I understand it's the outcome on balls that are in play. It's based on way more than what the pitcher can directly control. But come on, you don't need to remove any control that the pitcher might have over it. It's like if you say that the fielding independent pitching is the best statistic to use to evaluate pitchers, or if you go with Voros McCracken's research that kind of started this whole thing, you're essentially saying a pitcher's at fault for giving up a home run, but he's not at fault for giving up a hard double off the wall any more than getting a weak ground ball to get an out. Like those two things would be evaluated the same way, and there's just no consideration given to quality of contact. I mean, folks, maybe we do need to go back to some traditional see with your eye evaluation scouting and baseball instincts and the way we know the game is played. But just all of that being said, even though it's kind of ridiculous and you can't just set the home run apart as some kind of only type of contact the pitcher influences, I still trust wins above replacement as Fangraphs defines them for as far as we're concerned on this for pitchers and hitters alike. It wouldn't make any difference if we used ERA. It wouldn't make any difference if we used anything. It's just any realistic way you define WAR here, we're going to get the same result for this experiment. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried right now about the things I don't agree with, the way Fangraphs is defining some certain things, because I don't think that is the point right here. For pitchers or for hitters. I'm just going to read what Fangraphs says about the WAR these guys have put up this year, these free agents, and I think it's going to make my point no matter what you want to put in the equation. And for relief pitchers, I will say they do factor in the leverage of the innings they throw. So they're hopefully not at too big of an unfair disadvantage. We're going to get the point from these numbers. The 6 main free agents, Giants signed over last offseason, and we're not including the minor league contracts. Luke Jackson this year put up a .3 WAR. Sean Manaea put up a 1.0. I guess that's kind of decent enough. Taylor Rogers, 0.4. Ross Stripling was, and he was signed to a pretty massive contract in my opinion, minus 0.4. Replacement level player would have been a bit better than him. That's how bad he was. Michael Conforto, 1.2 WAR. That's the best on our list. Mitch Haniger, negative 0.2. There was not one free agent the Giants signed last offseason who put up as much as a 2.0 WAR. There wasn't a single free agent who put up a 1.5. These numbers are pretty low. That's the offseason they had. And Michael Conforto and Mitch Haniger in particular were supposed to bring like something to the lineup, but the injuries, just the underperformance, it just, you hear these numbers, maybe they shouldn't be shocking right now, and maybe we shouldn't have expected to find anything different, but I just find this, I just find this bad. We knew it was a bad offseason all along, but just going over these numbers again, it's just, I don't think they're updated for this game. So when Ross Stripling allowed 4 runs, I mean, probably in the overall scheme of things, not going to change a whole lot, but his number, negative 0.4, I'll just say we're not through the season yet, and I don't think it's even updated for this past game. No player put up a 2.0, and only 2 players on the list put up a 1.0 or more. Only 2 on the list. There were 2 on the list who put up a negative, like below replacement level, wins above replacement. This is not a good list of free agents in general here. Although there were ups and downs for some. Like I mentioned, Sean Manaea's on the list. His only been 1.0, but he gave the Giants what was basically their last chance last night with a good performance, and you're Yeah, we're gonna respect the high moments that everybody has had, honestly, but just in the overall scheme of things, these are the statistics, and these are just a pretty good estimate of what these guys have contributed. The Giants weren't able to bring on a free agent that put up as much of a 2.0 in wins above replacement, and a 1.0 that's hard to find, and just playing at close to replacement level like this. I didn't do this previously, but just give me some time. I'll calculate like the average. Like just trying to add this up here. It comes to about. Sorry, I guess I can't do math that fast. It's not going to be high. I'll tell you that. It's like 2.3 divided by 6. Let's see, blah blah blah. And it's like just over 0.3 on average. What you're gaining per player that the Giants signed this offseason. They put big money into some. They really did. They put big money into these contracts. And I don't know if Taylor Rogers is maybe like the exception here, in the sense that he's being evaluated maybe too much on the fielding independent stats, and that his numbers should be a bit higher. But it's just you get the average here, it would actually be like about 0.4. Even if you could raise that a little bit, if you have an average per player, even if I might make that a little bit higher, it's just as likely that maybe another player like has a rating that's like too high. No, it's not a high average WAR per player. We just see what the Giants added. It's like, there you go, like congratulations if that's the season we get from these guys. And honestly, I just don't see how the Giants, things could like surprise us, but it's just hard for me to see how the Giants are getting back into contention as long as they continue to be managed by the powers that be. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.